to mitigate this incident. But hey, why is it that only the women are focused on but not the men? The misconception around this also has to be brought to an end. Keep it up until the end to see, to examine, and to get enlightened on what surrounds gender-based violence.
Yes, yes, yes. A simple punch, battery, or even assault with the misguided notion that we are friends, couples, or even partners forms a basis of violence, whether knowing or unknowingly.
My name is I'm Daniel Okumu. Yeah, I'm a financial advisor at Kenya India Assurance Company. But on the other hand, as part of my skills, I also do writing, and based on my researches and what that I base on while writing, I've read so much about gender-based violence, and I understand how gender-based violence is and how it affects the community at large. Yeah, based on my research, yeah, I understand so much about gender.
Everything to do with all aspects of gender that in adversely affect the other gender, and that is both males and females. For a long time, gender has been perceived to, especially in the more traditional societies, to refer to ladies and girls and women, because in many aspects they were the ones who were more discriminated than, of course, the males. But gender-based violence is any form of violence that leads to harm to the other person. Incidentally, gender-based violence does not just have to be physical. In psychological terms, we see it as both physical, it can be psychological, and it can also be social. That's why it can also be sexual, and just like it can be physical, and it can just be abuse. Even someone insulting another person psychologically leads that person being tormented. So it is not that it's the, for a long time only people only used to see gender-based violence in terms of the physical abuse of it, but there's the psychological torment that in the way it affects the person, the victim, and in many instances also it has a lot of side effects also on the culprit, because there could be several reasons why this person could be perpetuating the crime. Okay.
Now, you as an expert in this field, once you have identified gender-based violence, how do you confirm and evaluate that the action is categorized under gender-based violence?
First of all, like now psychologically, there are so many ways that you can see it. For instance, a person who is psychologically tormented by another. By the way, remember, this can be a friend or even an intimate partner. In fact, that's why we talk about intimate partner violence. There are so many ways you can notice. The person fears the other person. The person is uncomfortable. The person is intimidated in one way or the other. The person can be abused, that is sexually or even verbally. Okay, and you can see this in the fear that the person displays, and you can also see this in the day-to-day aspect of this person. One of it is the low self-esteem, because the person feels deprived, the person feels that they are not themselves, and the person is made to feel to be a lesser human being than the other person and other persons. So it has a lot of manifestations. It leads to fear, psychological torment, that in the way it affects the person, the victim, and in many instances also it has a lot of side effects also on the culprit, because there could be several reasons why this person could be perpetuating the crime.
Okay. Now, you as an expert in this field, once you have identified gender-based violence, how do you confirm and evaluate that the action is categorized under gender-based violence?
First of all, like now psychologically, there are so many ways that you can see it.
Okay.
For instance, a person who is psychologically tormented by another. By the way, remember this can be a friend or even an intimate partner. In fact, that's why we talk about intimate partner violence. There are so many ways you can notice. The person fears the other person. The person is uncomfortable. The person is intimidated in one way or the other. The person can be abused, that is sexually or even verbally. Okay, and you can see this in the fear that the person displays, and you can also see this in the day-to-day aspect of this person. One of it is the low self-esteem, because the person feels deprived, the person feels that they are not themselves, and the person is made to feel to be a lesser human being than the other person and other persons. So it has a lot of manifestations. It leads to fear. For instance, if you notice this in a woman who could be suffering from intimate partner violence from the
Okay, I was really affected by her response, the activities that I received from her. You know, the fact that I couldn't provide anything in the house. You know, sometimes I would even be denied any meals, you know. So you end up sleeping hungry maybe for a long time, you know. I became weak.
My name is Dr. Sheikh Hassan Kenyomari. I'm a Muslim scholar and also a lecturer at the University of Nairobi, where I teach philosophy and religious studies. I also teach Islamic Sharia in several other universities and also Kenyan law. And I'm also a counselor by profession. I'm also a gender-based violence expert, especially in Islamic matters. The issue of gender-based violence has been a very emotive issue. But as you're saying, the problem is that the misconception has been that only girls or female gender is affected. But currently, as we speak, men are highly affected. Let me tell you, brother, we need to start a conversation on boy child. You go to many offices currently, you realize that many of the employees there are women. You go to many CAs currently, they are women. You go to PSS, they are women. You go to ambassadors, some of them or many of them are women. So what I'm trying to say is that a boy child is now left outside. Because when you go to any place of work, they say that let us start with the girls first. So 10 women are employed, 2 boys are employed. So you realize that boys, the number of boys in any company is decreasing. When you come to issue of molestation, it's not only happening to girls nowadays. Especially with the issue of LGBTQ, there are many men who are now preying on our boys, on our children, on our young boys. So we need to start protecting our young boys just as we were protecting our young girls. So what we are trying to say is that, in the Holy Quran, Allah told us, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam. We have honored the child of Adam. So it means that God did not only honor men or women. God honored the humankind, all of them. So the moment we start treating each and every gender same like the other, then we will have gotten it right. But if we don't do that, we will continue losing our boys to many problems. That's why many boys are now in depression. Many boys are undergoing mental illnesses problem because they don't know how to cope with the situation. So truly speaking, boy child need to be looked at. A week ago,
with other people. Gender-based violence personally it affected me. At some point in my life, I got married, so I had a wife, and just to start the marriage relationship, I was financially disabled, and my financials were really down, and so it was hard for me maybe to take care of all the responsibilities in the house. So as a man, my wife never understood. She never understood about my status, and so she used to really mistreat me. Yeah, and I felt at some point I felt demoralized. As a man in the house, you know, you cannot provide financially. So I was really affected by the mistreatments that I received from my wife. At some point I used to understand, you know, some things become maybe so hard for you. So I was really affected, and it led to a divorce because I couldn't take it. I had no job. I had my economic status.
Called sex for marks. It has been there. Truly, it has been there. This is something which has been reported in many universities, and unfortunately now it has also changed, where now even female lecturers sometimes they tell the young men, no, you can't come out of this university with a master's degree or PhD unless at least I have to eat that cucumber. So for the men they talk of, I want to eat that apple. For the women they tell the young men, unless I have a taste of that cucumber, you will not graduate from this university. This has been a big challenge. Coming to secondary school, it is even worse. For secondary school now, it is even worse, where many girls are being misused by teachers in schools. Many boys are also misused in the schools. So this is a critical problem which we have to look at another angle. Gender-based violence in our communities, you know, the problem has always been, people thought that gender-based violence is only beating or insulting someone, but someone can torture someone psychologically. Of course, a man can torture their wife psychologically, a woman can torture their husband psychologically. Maybe a man comes home and they want to have sex with the wife, and then the wife tells them that you cannot have sex with me, and then this persists for almost maybe a month, 2 months. Of course, this man will be tortured in a way, or even a woman sometimes tell the man, we have to have sex, my husband, because you have married me, and then the man say, I can't have it maybe for 1, 2, 3 months. Unless these people communicate and say that, you know, it's because I have a problem, maybe my malehood is not working anymore, then your wife will assist you to go and see, at least meet the doctor and specialist to assist you, then you realize that there will be a problem in this house. Or maybe there are these men who are always very drunk. Every time they come home, they start noise from very far. So by that time, actually, even the time they come home, the woman is totally distorted. So this is also part of gender-based violence, but which we have seen for many times is where sometimes guys are also pushed and forced to the issue of FGM. We have fought FGM for quite a long time, and this is the reason why I highly congratulate our President, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, and especially the First Lady,